to the GeoGeeks, our regular segment where we bring in a subject matter expert to tell us what's noteworthy in one of our core ArcGIS products.
And we welcome back Sue Enyedy to the GeoGeeks Roundtable to talk about her favorite topic, mobile apps.
That's
Sue,
right.
it is awesome to have you back on the pod.
Well, thanks for having me back. Always happy to talk about mobile apps.
Absolutely. So I guess we all tuned into the Developer Summit plenary that happened a few weeks ago, and I think one of the big themes that came out of that of those discussions was GeoAI. So I'm just kind of curious to kind of kick things off. What is your take on GeoAI, especially in your world of mobile apps?
Yeah, I found that very interesting. There was a lot of focus on GeoAI at the plenaries, like you said. And basically, we are introducing GeoAI across the ArcGIS platform. So, artificial intelligence for GIS geeks, so to speak. And it's all the ways that the capabilities can be used for doing analysis and just getting your work done faster in the ArcGIS world with some artificial intelligence. So with ArcGIS, some of the ways that were highlighted in the plenary were more complex workflows and analysis type of models that you can use. We have over 70 pre-trained models, and Dev Summit showed using some of these in ArcGIS Pro as part of detecting data with the GeoAI geoprocessing tools, and also using some of the deep learning models in the Living Atlas. But in our mobile app world, Survey123 is leading the way in using that GeoAI capabilities to get you to create your forms for your mobile users faster and more efficiently. And that's what I want to talk about today.
Yeah, definitely excited to hear about that. So we're not going to waste your time, Sue. I want to know all about it. I know Survey123 has introduced this in their newest experience, incorporating the AI. Can you tell us a bit more about what that is and how it works?
Yeah, sure. There was always some AI capabilities in Survey123. So for example, with the Survey123 Connect app, you could build models to train your device camera to work as a smart camera to auto detect things like signs and then automatically capture them in your survey. But those were pretty complex to use. You had to spend a lot of time actually and a lot of images to train your models to do that. But what we're introducing, anyone can use, even you, Mark. So yes, you can create a survey all by yourself. So what we are introducing is what's called a Survey123 Smart Assistant. And this provides a new way to get really quickly started with your surveys. And it uses the generative AI to guide you through a conversation to build your survey. So it's really cool.
Yeah, sounds really cool, but I just can't. I just want to visualize how it works. So, can you walk us through an example of how our
Yeah,
users
sure.
can
So
use this?
if you want to start using this tool, it's available in ArcGIS Online. You need an administrator first to enable the tool. And once you sign into Survey123, the administrator would have to go to your organization settings and actually have to, in the extensions tab, turn on the Survey123 assistant. And it is still a beta feature. The surveys it creates will be great, but it's just still a beta feature because we're still trying to refine how it works. So once you turn that on, so let's say I can log in now and start to create a new survey in Web Designer. And I will see on the lower left-hand corner of the new survey window, use the Survey123 assistant option. And then I click on that. And then it gives you some examples of what kind of questions you can ask. Basically, you're trying to have a conversation with this Survey123 assistant. So to give an example, I want to create a survey that will collect data from a winery about user experiences, right? So how do people like going to that winery? So I would ask that question. Yeah, Mark's laughing because, the winery theme with me. And so I would ask that question, and then the assistant would go and generate a survey with some typical questions. And the nice thing about this is it's interactive. So if it gives me a list of questions that some of them I don't like or some of them haven't been included, I would then type in another question into the conversation box. So I wanted to ask, because I'm a wine geek as well as a GeoGeek, what type of wine did people enjoy at the winery? And I would basically type that exact sentence into the conversation, and then Survey123 would go and add that. And there's also ways to give feedback. There's a thumbs up and thumbs down. And what that does is it opens up a feedback window. So our Survey123 team can learn, is this actually helping the type of questions we're asking? Or you can put in feedback on what didn't work for you. And then they're going to try and make this tool even better. So now we've gone through that, only typing a couple sentences, we get a survey generated, and you're basically into the Survey123 web designer form where you can then modify those questions. You can add questions, you can remove them, you can create choicelets. So you're back to the point where you would be starting from scratch. You'd have to build all that or use a template. So it can save a lot of time, actually, and it's very easy to use.
That sounds fantastic. I love anything that can save me some time, and it
Yeah, for
seems like
sure.
it makes it a lot easier for especially people who aren't as comfortable using Survey 123. It's
Exactly. And I think even if you are, if you really quickly wanted a survey and you didn't have time, I would use it and I would
Mhm.
create this survey and then I could just modify it a little bit. And the nice thing too is if you create something in the Survey123 web designer and you want to use the more advanced features of Connect, you can always download that XLS form that gets generated from creating this survey. And then you can modify it in Connect and add all those extra capabilities and publish it. So I think this could work for not only really beginner type users, but someone who's in a hurry and needs to
Mhm.
get going quickly. So it's actually really interesting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Thanks so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I can't wait to give it a try. I could
Yes, and I
save
hope
a lot of
Mark gives it a
time.
try too.
I'll
Yes.
do it. I'll do it. I promise.
So we love the GeoAI stuff. It's pretty exciting. But I know that in February of 2024 this year, there was there was a Survey 123 release that included other enhancements as well. Is there anything else in that really caught your eye or that's worth knowing about?
Yeah, I think the one other major feature that caught my eye was the auto translation option. So many people may know that Survey123 for a while has provided us with capabilities to translate our survey into another language. By default, when you create a survey, it's created in the language of your ArcGIS organization. So if we were in Canada, it probably created in English. And then you had options either in Connect or the web designer to translate every part of that survey. So it would include the survey title, the survey questions, the answers in drop down lists. And you would have to do this manually. And it would be quite time consuming. You could create multiple languages. So if you wanted 3 languages, you could do that. But we have a new auto translate option from Survey123 Web Designer. You need to enable it the same way you enable the assistant. So you have to go to your organization settings, and someone with administrative privileges has to turn that on. And the way this works now is you build your survey in your primary language. And once you're done, you go to your options and it will say manage multiple languages. Now you could still go in there and choose a language and provide your own translations, but you have now the auto translate option, which really it takes not even a minute. It will translate your survey into your language of your choice. And we recommend if you do this, please check your translations to make sure they're translating things the way you want them to.
Mhm.
Because again, we're working on to enhance this. But again, this can save a huge amount of time for going to multiple languages. And once you save that and publish your survey, the user will basically see the survey in your native language. And in the upper left corner of the survey, they have the option to select between the native language and the other language that you've translated to, or multiple languages. Just very, very quick. And I know a lot of people in our country need bilingual surveys and will certainly use this to some capacity to get their surveys done quickly.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. I know as someone whose French is, not so great despite what Duolingo tells me. I don't know. I try, but it's not great. It's definitely going to make a huge difference in getting started before I have to get an actual French person to
Yeah, I
to
agree. At
take a
least you
look
can
at
make
it.
a draft, right, of your translation and have someone just review it instead of completely starting from scratch, or going through something like Google Translate and just copying and pasting, which
Yeah.
is can be inefficient. So yeah, so these are basically the two things in the February release that are really GeoAI driven to help you get going with creating that survey faster. And I think we're going to see more capabilities with not only Survey123, but with other apps in the future that will help us to just get our mobile workers into the field even faster than before.
Wow. Thanks so much, Sue. That's really exciting stuff. I can't wait to try it out. And thank you for joining us today to tell us all about it.
Well, thank you for having me.
That was Sue Enyedy. She is the product specialist for mobile solutions at Esri Canada, and she joins us today from the slopes of the Niagara Escarpment in the beautiful Hamilton, Ontario.